In this video, I'll discuss the important features of data warehousing and data marts. So what is data warehousing? Well, it's data centralization. This is where we carry out our effective decision making. It's useful for historical data analysis. And we evolve it to support big data. So we might be building out data centers, or we might be storing this data in the cloud at some large cloud provider. Now, if the data is large enough, especially in the realm of big data, you need to be centralizing it either in your own facilities and data centers, or outsourcing to hosted solutions in the cloud in facilities run by third parties. If your data is small enough, you may be working off a single centralized server, or even a powerful workstation to carry out your analysis or machine learning methods. Now, what does a typical data warehousing model look like? Well, in a big data warehousing model, we have something like we have here. So we have our operational systems and our transactional systems. So this top part here, these top two elements, this typically deals with structured data, and it's what we have traditionally when we're dealing with data warehousing. So we pull this data into a staging area, and then we put it in a data warehouse, and that's it. Now with big data warehousing, we often have structured and unstructured data from various sources, from web servers, from pulling information from various locations, and we store it in something like an Apache Hadoop cluster. So this is a distributed storage cluster. It doesn't have to be Hadoop, but this is the canonical example. In a traditional data environment, we may be going from the web servers to the staging area directly without this intermediate step. In a big data environment, we're pulling from production servers structured and unstructured data into the Hadoop storage or another distributed system with processing capabilities to handle very large amounts of data. And then finally, in our data warehouse, in a big data model, we want to separate our data into different data marts, and these will just logically separate our data so we can look at them in separate chunks. Now, in data marts, we take slices of the overall data. So as you saw in the previous diagram, we have our big data warehouse, and then we slice it into various marts. So each one of those has its own data model, and they're typically divided along business needs. So a data mart divides the data per subject area or per department. Now you can provide focused views or copies of the data, and this all falls under the data warehouse umbrella. So it's designed for ease of use, so you don't want everyone to see all things in your data. So you want to make it easy just showing the things that people need, and for performance. So you're